Welcome to Activate, a weekly segment spotlighting people who make a positive impact on our community through direct involvement in a cause they care about. WFHB hopes that these examples inspire you to get involved in something you believe in, no matter what the particular cause.
Hi, I'm Laura Grover from the Bloomington Storytelling Project. The Bloomington Storytelling Project is an idea that came from listening to lots of talk radio shows, especially shows like The Moth, which is a WNYC show, and This American Life, and Radio Lab, and Democracy Now! And basically any show where people sort of tell their stories. The experience of listening to talk radio with a group of friends versus by yourself seems just so much more inspiring, because having a group of people with you makes the experience sort of connect everybody. With that idea in mind, I thought it would be nice to sort of collect people's stories and have an event where people in town could go and listen to people tell their stories as well as tell their own stories, because then you're not just feeling the way you feel when you listen to something by yourself, you're actually laughing all together and feeling moved all together, and that brings a community together. I feel like everyone knows good stories. Some people might not really, at the top of their head, have like a lot of good stories like right there. But if they really sit and think about it, I think everybody has good stories. Random, silly, or strange, interesting, historical stories, whether short or long. Often people know someone who has really good stories. I can think of 4 family members that always tell the same 3 stories over and over again, and they become sort of epic traditions in your family or in your group of friends where you're like, hey Dad, tell that story about when you got your nose broken by that guy in England or something. And I think that that's really powerful, because those become part of you and part of your tradition that they might tell over and over again, like the kinds of things you might tell a new friend or like a first date, like the best stories that you think that you have. And they're not necessarily moving or serious, they might be really silly, but I think that whether moving or silly, they're all very important, and I think the tradition of telling them is sort of lost. I think the act of listening is something that's lost, and I would like to, be a part of bringing that tradition back into the community. So our first event is happening on June 13th at Rachel's Cafe, which is downtown on 3rd Street. And the event will be at 7 p.m. And basically I'm collecting stories now through June 6th through email. And the more stories I get, the better, because I can choose the best of the best. And I'm going to ask that the people who give me their stories, the stories must be true, and they must be able to be told within 1 to 15 minutes. I want to request that if people are afraid to tell their stories in front of others, then they should still share them, because I can definitely find somebody to read the story for them if they're willing to have me transcribe it. The stories might be recorded live as well, so we can create an archive of these stories. Please send your story submissions or a brief summary of a story you'd like to tell to the email address bloomingtonstorytelling@gmail.com, which is all one word, or you can search for the Facebook group Bloomington Storytelling and contact me through that as well. The email address again is bloomingtonstorytelling@gmail.com. Again, this is Laura Grover from the Bloomington Storytelling Project, asking you to tell me your story.
You've been listening to Activate, tales of inspiration from local citizens who stand up for what they believe in. If you know someone who is working for positive change in our community, email us for a chance to share their story on this segment. The address is news@wfhb.org. For Bloomington Community Radio, I'm Lisa Golden. In the words of anthropologist Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It is the only thing that ever has.